Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. As you can see, we once again have unsuccessfully been able to stay in Vault. So be it not too big of a surprise though, no bonus mythics on offense and defense, and well, a particular recent mythic hero is bonus, so that's totally going to end well. Once again, we're just goofballing this week. Decided to try using Legendary Secret since he was bonus. Why the heck not? Kind of a deal. Overall, not too surprising how things went. People even straight up bring in Emblem on offense because save units. And they decided to just hit end turn here. Just like how we did for quite a few of our matches this week. A lot of times we just were not able to deal with these shenanigans, unfortunately, that were going down. We also had Rally on Legendary Secret for the memes. This defense isn't really supposed to perform that well. But here it scores us a win. Naturally, with Emblem being the newest, greatest Dark Mythic, we saw plenty of her this season. Sometimes she was placed horribly, so we could just completely ignore her existence. And of course, most people kept her attack speed flanch in her A slot, so because of her high mobility, she could, similar to Brave Celis, just walk in front right, 2 spaces in front of our ranged allies, and then we would just be able to casually nuke her because she didn't get any extra speed from her A slot. And despite even being bonus, having that extra plus 10 HP and plus 4 speed, yeah, we could still deal with that, which is pretty nice. Of course, the only other thing is that wasn't exactly the only thing we had to worry about this season. Another problem was, of course, save units that were just there purely for stalling. They didn't even have distant counter or any means of actually countering our units, but that was with the intent, of course, of running Deflect Magic on Far Save, for example, and just face tanking, that's it. While the rest of their units threatened with their massive range, including Emblem, of course. So, all in all, we ended up just face planting super early in the season against one of those teams. I can't remember exactly what the team was, but pretty sure just slapping Medius and Emblem together on a team basically ruined the hopes and dreams of winning Deathless, especially if there's Harmonized Catry involved, or even you completely obliterates their team, because Nino no longer is allowed to get any field buffs for enemy phase. And if we wanted player phase, we have to use up her action first, and it's pretty brutal. And of course, Emblem was definitely a force to be reckoned with. When we couldn't deny her attack speed clash, we pretty much just never doubled her. Not too surprising there, especially with feud around. Again, if we wanted to get rid of the feud effect, we'd have to burn our entire action for that. And even though that would allow us to pick up the kill on Emblem, that means we're sitting duck against the rest of the enemy units. So overall, pretty meh. We did fine for most of our matches on offense. There were just a couple of matches where we really couldn't do anything. That's how it played out. So here, well, we have Legendary Sigurd against a Triangle Adept Cecilia, so we all know that's going to end well. And here we just can absolutely obliterate with the +1 movement. And at this point, the match is basically over, except there's Bolt Tower, so they can actually pick up some kills. Not that it actually matters, because there's too many threats around for them to deal with. So they're actually just straight up unable to take out Legendary Sigurd. bonus stats allowing him to be tanky enough, and I'll have to sweep from here. Also forgot to mention at the beginning of the episode here, we're probably going to enter a phase in videos. If you haven't noticed already, we weren't able to upload videos for quite a while, a few weeks, because of YouTube things. So, also we've just been getting less and less time to actually record things. So at the end of the day, we're just probably going to reduce videos down to purely the replays video every season. Just so we keep a running record of our replays, that's pretty much it. Here they're just using their duo's skill to just isolate basically our entire team, so we can't really do anything. But even so, we're able to pick up the kill on Tina, which is pretty jank. That should not be happening. But they just decide to activate all the traps here. And well, we still have some threats available. Legendary Sigurd can go around the other way, straight up one-shotting the opposing Legendary Sigurd, and of course things are not going to end well at this point. Mill's actually going for the 1v1, and Ash here able to wall all of our units there because of stats and probably Unity. So, problem is they have to deal with Legendary Sigurd, and that is no easy feat. The guy hits pretty hard, and he can just straight up snipe down their peony. So now they're really in trouble against the guy. They have no way of healing, and he's just gonna keep nuking, so healing tower definitely not helping them out at all. At this point, it's GG. No way for them to win the match at this point. Definitely not sure what we're going to do for E3s at this point, because our meming strategies with Nino is, since one was level 10, 52 HP. That's such a weird number. I don't know what the deal with that. I have not been paying attention to many updates, so level 10 healing power feels 52 is kind of strange to me. But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do, because the Nino meme carry strat is essentially dead to the meta every time, and of course most people are gonna be running meta. So there's no real way for us to consistently win on offense given all of our imposed restrictions. None of these real, even if we remove most of those restrictions, we still wouldn't be able to win a lot of matches, again purely because we have to deal with meta. And most of the time we aren't losing because we're imposing the don't activate traps challenge, or only using one team and no escape ladder definitely contributes to us failing a lot. But don't activate traps challenge thing is just an extra flex, and it doesn't, most of the time it doesn't really affect the outcomes of matches. Mercy. Nowadays it's becoming more of an issue because we can't deal with meta. I was thinking of maybe hard pivoting and just straight up abandoning the Nino memes altogether. I think we're gonna have to if we're gonna have any chance of doing well in Ether raids from here on out. But I was thinking about going full-blown Gale Force only, but one, we don't have the resources to make a reasonably consistent Gale Force team, and two, how the heck are we supposed to Gale Force every team? It definitely is one of the best strategies in the game right now for offense, because most defenses aren't directly checking it. Most of the quote-unquote direct checks are guard, super tanky, and near save units, or far save respectively. And just having a bunch of tanky units that's about it. Because with safe defense available, a lot of the times, especially during dark or light offense, your safe defense isn't going to get sniped down by anything. The only chance you have of sniping down is the catapult, and most of the time that's not going to be the case. So you can snipe down units turn one, get away with it, and that makes your follow-up turn much easier. But we have, for example, is it harmonized Cordelia? Is it dual? I'm pretty sure it's harmonized. But we have her as a thing now with dual strike, which is considerably more consistent for Gale Force strategies compared to harmonized Catria, where you have to have 2 units with triangle attack in range to get the desired effects. So at the end of the day, yeah, she would definitely help us out if we were trying to build a Gale Force team, but we do have Valoria. She is, I believe, minus attack though, so that's kind of a problem. Just a small problem, to say the least. And, well, I'm not sure what to think about that, to be honest. We do have Harmonized Catcher, but again, she's pretty hard to use. But we definitely need nukes and someone to actually initiate combat consistently. Of course, you have units like Summer Edelgard, who has access to up to 3 actions, and she has a Brave Weapon. Problem is, that's all she has. She doesn't have any real text against damage reduction other than just keep attacking forehead. And of course, she has to deal with guard and other shenanigans. But overall, she's pretty solid. If there's just a bunch of frail units, she can chain and pick up 3 kills in one turn. Assault troops in her base hit, so she can get in pretty easily as long as there's no gatekeeper legendary inverse shenanigans, I guess. Then you have units like Brave Fellow, who just pretty much will never die when you initiate with him, because he has his miracle shenanigans. And of course he can do tons of damage, especially if you have him quadding units. Incredibly few units are going to survive that, and if they are, you're probably not going to try using them against them unless that's your intent to set up things at mercy and whatnot. And of course, the problem with Brave Self is he doesn't have any built-in special acceleration, so he will struggle against guard. There's plenty of Gale Force units to where you think about. Valoria is just super strong with her Refine now, Tempo, and of course the special acceleration. Super nice. On Light Season, you have units like Asker as well. It can also reduce cooldown even further. So I feel like Light Season going forward, if we want to do a 1-team only challenge, it probably is going to be Gale Force, but we're going to have to play massive brains to be able to construct a team that can casually beat most defense teams. And of course, that's never really going to happen. Most of the time, we probably can beat most teams if we engineer one of the strongest Gale Force teams in the game, but we definitely aren't going to win Deathless every match. We're definitely going to have to sack units, but that's way better than just straight up losing matches like we've been doing recently. I don't know though. And of course, Ask for Season is absolute misery for us because our hole exists. And of course, we don't have Elamine, so folks who still run Harmonized Catria on Astra Anima Season, which people still do because Elamine can only target all of them. So you have to pick and choose unless you bring a ton of Elamines, which is totally a thing, but not something we would do because we don't even have one copy of her. But here, for example, this is what you could do with Gale Force with Summer Edelgard. Our team is super frail. Again, Brave Weapons, so she can just go to town, pick up kills on literally everything. There's nothing we can do about it. We can use Yuri here to stall a turn, so that they can pick up these other ether structures in the middle of the day. Yeah, overall, for Astra Season, Gale Force is probably pretty valuable as well. There are some pretty strong support mythics as well for Astro Season, so maybe we could just go hard pivot from our usual old school Vantage memes to Gale Force only, but that's gonna take a lot of investment to make a single team good. Because of course, the actual value of Gale Force, like building a Gale Force team for Ether Raids, is that you have this thing called 4 other team slots. So, if your one Gale Force team doesn't work, maybe you have a second Gale Force team designed to deal with most of what the other team can't handle. And then of course, you can have 3 other slots for teams like End Turn or Hidden Run or whatnot. So that way you have a ton of flexibility against any defense team you're going to face. But for us, doing the one team only challenge, you have this problem where your team has to be able to handle literally everything, and that is pretty absurd. Speaking of pretty absurd, I'm pretty sure having air go up against legendary female pilots is not a good idea. Just for the sole reason that she's not going to be able to counter. There's a wind sweep. Turns out that didn't matter there, and they were able to face tank with air because she's pretty solid res stat, post remix especially. But Ramlon was able to protect himself, and that's really all that mattered. At this point, now Legendary Sigurd is being threatened because he's chilling back there, untouchable by their units because Nils is in the way, so our Legendary Sigurd can go to town. And now things go downhill from here real quick for them. Unfortunately here, Nils does too much damage and decides to attack. And at this point, you have to deal with Seliph, and well, Seliph against Legendary Micaiah, not the greatest matchup for Legendary Micaiah. To be honest, they can probably win this matchup. Maybe, if Ash had more allies to prevent the guaranteed follow-up attack. She can definitely avoid the double from him, since his speed is not that high. But they're not in that state. Ignis is at 1 cooldown, they don't have guard, so it's going to hurt. So, for the time being again, we'll just probably be reducing uploads down to the replays video every week. So, RIP Resident Battle series, even though it was pretty much a series to start. Let's see what the opponent does here. They have Loki for screwing over Legendary Sigurd. And now they have a free avenue to approach our team. Not like Seliph is going to be doing anything here. They even have Bolt Tower here. Ignis is not ready to go, even if it was. Pretty sure we don't go there. And now they can just go on their rampage. Of course, we don't have to deal with hindrance. Looks like they instead decide to just leave, which seems pretty reasonable. Because, of course, they can force the rally here and literally nothing else is going to happen. So, seems fine. They do proc Holy Knight Aura for us, though, which probably isn't going to matter at this point. So, charge in with all their units. They can even run here, which they do. And while Bramon isn't going to be going anywhere anytime soon, they can just run around him all day long. And they can even corner him if they want to. Surround him with their units, which they can definitely do with some of their unit mobility, but they don't want to do that because they just grab their ether structures and call it a day. And last but not least, here we have this team. Haven't seen Fallen Ike in forever. There's kind of a reason why. Level 1 Mathis, top tier bonus unit right there. Let's see, they accelerate his special 2 cooldown, which is pretty nice. Let's see how they fare here. So far so good. Of course he has the damage reduction, he's got pulse tie. The extra mobility allows legendary female pilots to get there, but that's about it. Looks like he's just gonna tank everything. Seems reasonable, given that he got debuffed for plenty more stats. He had a bunch of allies supporting him as well. Going to be able to easily wall Solo. Pretty sure he's going to be able to kill as well. I'd be pretty disappointed if he couldn't. There we go. Now Sylvia's left and free real estate. You just have to make sure you're not low. And that's pretty much it. Sylvia's probably going after him. Not too big of a surprise there. Now they can just hide. Sylvia will go ahead, probably move 2 spaces up. Or no, apparently not. She's going after someone else. Did she take out Peony or something? Don't know. But rip to us again. And with that, we also did pretty horribly on defense this week. Got a decent amount of successes, given this defense is pretty much immune. But decided not to run Legendary Lilna on defense this week, just to try it out. Not sure if I really like not having her around, but she can definitely shred some units that would normally wall over all of her units. In Arena, I ended up having to give Anna a Fire Blessing to make the fishing easier, so that we could make it back up to tier 21. But we should be heading back up. Would be surprised if this wasn't enough to stay. And of course, Legion's battles and arenas are closed right now. So we'll be back when the results drop in.